In the dawn of the Mesozoic era, some 230 million years ago, the Earth was a wild, untamed world, pulsing with the raw energy of a planet still finding its rhythm. The Triassic period, a time of scorching deserts, lush fern forests, and sprawling shallow seas, set the stage for one of nature's boldest experiments, the rise of the pterosaurs, the first vertebrates to conquer the skies. These were not dinosaurs, nor were they birds, but an entirely unique lineage of reptiles that dared to defy gravity, rewriting the rules of life on Earth. Their emergence was a breathtaking moment in evolutionary history, a spark that ignited the skies with winged wonders whose legacy still captivates us today. Imagine a landscape where the air shimmered with heat, and the ground trembled under the feet of early dinosaurs like Eoraptor, scrappy predators no larger than a dog. Volcanoes rumbled, their ash clouds painting the heavens in hues of crimson and gold. The supercontinent Pangaea, a vast, unbroken expanse, dominated the globe, its interior a parched wasteland while its coasts teemed with life. Amid this chaotic world, the ancestors of Pterosaur, small, agile reptiles from the Archosaur group, began their journey toward the clouds. These creatures, likely scampering across the forest floor or clambering up gnarled trees, were not content to remain earthbound. Evolution was about to take a daring leap. The earliest pterosaurs, such as Preondactylus or Dimorphodon, were modest in size, with wingspans barely reaching a meter. Their bodies were a marvel of adaptation. Lightweight bones, hollowed out like those of modern birds, gave them an edge in agility. Their wings, formed by a thin membrane of skin stretched across an elongated fourth finger, were unlike anything seen before. These membranes, called patagia, shimmered in the Triassic sunlight, possibly flashing vibrant colors to signal mates or ward off rivals. Picture a creature perched on a cliff's edge, its eyes glinting with curiosity as it gazed at the open sky, feeling the wind's pull, ready to take its first clumsy glide into the unknown. What drove these reptiles to take flight? The answer lies in the crucible of the Triassic environment. Competition was fierce. Early dinosaurs and other reptiles vied for food, insects, small vertebrates, and the abundant plant life of the time. Climbing trees or cliffs offered a vantage point to spot prey or escape predators, but it was the ability to glide that gave pterosaurs a revolutionary advantage. A leap from a branch could mean snatching an insect mid-air or evading a snapping jaw below. Over millions of years, natural selection sculpted their bodies for flight, refining their wings, strengthening their muscles, and sharpening their senses. The skies became their sanctuary, a realm where no other creature could follow. The emergence of pterosaurs was not a solitary event, but part of a broader explosion of life during the late Triassic. This was a time when the archosaurs, the ruling reptiles, diversified into forms that would shape the Mesozoic. Dinosaurs were finding their footing on land, while crocodilian ancestors lurked in rivers. Pterosaurs, however, claimed the air, filling a niche that had remained empty since life first crawled onto land. Their flight was not the flapping soar of a modern eagle, but a combination of gliding and powered bursts, their wings catching thermals rising from the sun-baked Pangaean plains. Fossils from places like Italy's Prione Valley revealed the delicate bones of these pioneers, their skeletons a testament to a design both fragile and fearless. The world they inhabited was as dynamic as the creatures themselves. The Triassic climate swung between arid droughts and monsoon-like rains, shaping ecosystems where survival demanded innovation. Pterosaurs likely thrived near coasts or river deltas, where fish and insects were plentiful. Their sharp, toothy beaks, some lined with needle-like teeth, others broad and scoop-shaped, hint at a varied diet. Some species may have swooped low over ancient lagoons, snatching fish like modern pelicans, while others darted through fern-choked forests, chasing dragonflies the size of sparrows. Each flight was a gamble, a test of skill in a world where a single misstep could mean a fatal fall. Yet, the pterosaurs' ascent was not without mystery. How did they transition from scampering reptiles to masters of the air? Some scientists propose they evolved from small, tree-dwelling ancestors that used skin flaps to glide between branches, much like modern flying squirrels. Others suggest they were ground-dwellers, using strong hindlimbs to leap into the air. Fossils of early pterosaurs, like those found in the Dolomite Alps, show a mix of traits: long tails for balance, sharp claws for clinging, and wings that were still evolving. These clues paint a picture of creatures caught in the act of becoming. their bodies a patchwork of trial and error. The cultural impact of their emergence resonates even now. Pterosaurs evoke images of mythical dragons, their wings casting shadows over our imaginations. Two early humans discovering their fossils. These bones must have seemed like relics of gods or monsters. Today, they inspire awe in museums and fuel debates among paleontologists. Were their wings warm with blood, pulsing with life? Did they soar in flocks, painting the Triassic skies with bursts of color? The answers lie buried in the rock, waiting for the next discovery to unlock their secrets. The emergence of pterosaurs was a defining moment, a spark that lit the fuse of aerial evolution. They were the vanguard of a new era, proving that life could transcend the earth and dance with the wind. As the Triassic gave way to the Jurassic, their descendants would grow larger, bolder, and more diverse, with giants like Quetzalcoatlus eventually ruling the skies. But it all began here, in a world of fire and fern, where a small reptile dared to leap and found itself flying. In the swirling mists of the Triassic, where the earth roared with volcanic fury and the skies beckoned with untamed freedom, the pterosaurs emerged as nature's masterclass in engineering. These ancient reptiles, the first vertebrates to conquer flight, owed their aerial prowess to a body structure so extraordinary it seemed sculpted by the hand of a cosmic artist. Every bone, muscle, and membrane was a testament to evolution's relentless drive to innovate, transforming humble reptiles into lords of the sky. To understand the pterosaurs is to marvel at a design that balanced fragility with strength, delicacy with daring, in a world where survival demanded nothing less than perfection. Picture a pterosaur perched on a jagged cliff overlooking a prehistoric lagoon, its silhouette sharp against the fiery glow of a Triassic sunset. Its body, no heavier than a modern hawk, was a marvel of lightweight construction. The secret lay in its bones, which were not solid like those of terrestrial reptiles but hollow, laced with air-filled cavities. These pneumatic bones, similar to those found in modern birds, slashed the creature's weight while maintaining structural integrity. Imagine holding a pterosaur bone in your hand. It would feel like a whisper of stone, so light it could almost float, yet strong enough to withstand the stresses of flight. This skeletal framework was the foundation of their airborne supremacy, allowing even the largest species, with wingspans rivaling small airplanes, to lift off with astonishing ease. The wings themselves were the crown jewel of pterosaur anatomy. Unlike the feathered wings of birds or the leathery flaps of bats, pterosaur wings were formed by a thin, elastic membrane called the patagium, stretched across an elongated fourth finger that acted as the primary support. This finger, sometimes longer than the creature's entire body, was a skeletal marvel, a single digit extended into a spar that anchored the wing's leading edge. The membrane, composed of skin reinforced with collagen fibers, was both flexible and resilient, capable of catching the wind like a sail or folding neatly when the creature landed. Fossils from Germany's Solnhofen limestone reveal these membranes preserved in exquisite detail, some even showing blood vessels or pigmentation, hinting at wings that may have shimmered with iridescent hues under the Mesozoic sun. But the wings were only part of the story. Pterosaurs were four-limbed flyers, their hind limbs and forelimbs intricately connected to the flight apparatus. A secondary membrane, the urophagium, stretched between the legs, acting like a rudder for stability or a parachute for slow descents. Some species, like Sordis pilosis, had a cruropatagium, a membrane linking the legs to the tail, adding further control in flight. This complex wing system allowed pterosaurs to maneuver with precision, darting through fern-choked forests or soaring over ancient seas. Imagine a pterodactylus banking sharply to snatch a dragonfly, its wings twisting like a kite in a storm, guided by muscles that rippled beneath its taut skin. The skull of a pterosaur was another masterpiece of adaptation. Lightweight yet robust, it housed a brain finely tuned for flight. Their eyes, large and sharp, were positioned for keen vision, essential for spotting prey from great heights or navigating turbulent skies. The beaks varied wildly. Some, like Pteranodon, were long and toothless, perfect for scooping fish from the waves. Others, like Dimorphodon, bristled with needle-like teeth for snaring insects or small vertebrates. Many species sported crests or bony protrusions on their heads, ranging from the subtle ridges of Rhamphorhynchus to the flamboyant, sail-like crests of Nyctosaurus. These crests, likely vibrant in life, may have served as display structures, signaling dominance or attracting mates, much like a peacock's tail. The body itself was compact, designed to minimize drag. The chest housed powerful pectoral muscles, anchored to a keeled sternum, much like modern birds, providing the strength needed for powered flight. Unlike birds, however, pterosaurs had a unique shoulder girdle that allowed their wings to articulate in ways that defy modern comparison. Their hips and legs were equally specialized, with strong hindlimbs suggesting they were adept at walking or even running on the ground. Some fossils show claw marks, hinting that pterosaurs could cling to cliffs or trees, launching into the air with a powerful leap. This versatility made them not just flyers but agile all-terrain creatures, equally at home on land, in trees, or in the sky. Their respiratory system was another stroke of genius. Like birds, pterosaurs likely had air sacs that extended into their hollow bones, creating a one-way airflow through their lungs. This efficient system delivered a constant supply of oxygen, fueling the high-energy demands of flight. Imagine a Quetzalcoatlus with a wingspan of 10 meters, soaring effortlessly over a desert plain, its breath flowing smoothly through a network of air sacs, its heart pounding to keep pace with the demands of its massive wings. This respiratory innovation allowed pterosaurs to thrive in diverse environments, from coastal lagoons to inland forests. The skin of pterosaurs added yet another layer of fascination. Fossils from Brazil's Santana Formation reveal that some species were covered in a fine hair-like fuzz called pycnofibers. These structures, possibly an early form of insulation or sensory aid, suggest that pterosaurs were warm-blooded, or at least capable of regulating their body temperature. This would have been crucial in the variable climates of the Mesozoic, where nights could plunge into cold and days could sear with heat. The pycnofibers, combined with the vibrant colors of their wing membranes, likely made pterosaurs a dazzling sight, their bodies flashing like living kites against the prehistoric sky. The tail, often overlooked, was a critical component of their design. In early pterosaurs like Rhamphorhynchus, the tail was long and stiffened with bony rods, tipped with a diamond-shaped vein, that acted as a stabilizer in flight. Later species, like Pteranodon, evolved shorter tails, relying more on wing control for maneuverability. This evolution in tail structure reflects the diversity of pterosaur lifestyles. From agile forest dwellers to long-distance, each adaptation was a response to the challenges of their world, a world where survival meant mastering the air in ways no creature had before. The unique body structure of pterosaurs was a triumph of evolutionary engineering, a blueprint that allowed them to dominate the skies for over 160 million years. From their hollow bones to their intricate wings, every feature was a solution to the problem of flight in a world ruled by giants. As we uncover their fossils, from the delicate skeletons of Pterodactylus to the massive remains of Hatzecopteryx, we glimpse a lineage that pushed the boundaries of what life could achieve. The pterosaurs were not just reptiles, they were a revolution, a bold declaration that the sky was no longer out of reach. In the vast, untamed skies of the Mesozoic, where clouds swirled above primeval forests and ancient seas, the pterosaurs reigned as a kaleidoscope of winged wonders. From the dawn of their emergence in the Triassic to their final days in the Cretaceous, these flying reptiles evolved into an astonishing array of species, each a unique masterpiece of nature's ingenuity. Over 150 known species, ranging from sparrow-sized flitters to giants with wings wider than a small airplane, painted the prehistoric heavens with their diversity. Their forms, behaviors, and adaptations were as varied as the landscapes they soared over, a testament to evolution's boundless creativity in crafting creatures that defied gravity and conquered the air. Imagine a Jurassic coastline, where waves crash against jagged cliffs and the air hums with the cries of winged reptiles. Here, a tiny Anurognathes darts through the twilight, its wings no wider than a human hand, snapping up dragonflies with a mouth full of peg-like teeth. Meanwhile, high above, a pterodactylus glides gracefully, its slender beak slicing through the wind as it scans the waves for fish. Farther inland, a colossal Quetzalcoatlus stalks the plains, its 10-meter wingspan casting shadows over herds of dinosaurs below. This diversity was not a mere quirk of evolution, but a strategic conquest of every aerial niche, from dense forests to open oceans, showcasing the pterosaurs' ability to adapt to every corner of their world. The earliest pterosaurs, appearing around 230 million years ago in the late Triassic, were relatively modest. Species like Priondactylus, found in the fossil-rich deposits of Italy, had wingspans of less than a meter and long, whip-like tails for balance. These pioneers were agile flyers, likely flitting through fern-choked forests or along riverbanks, snatching insects or small vertebrates. Their small size and delicate frames, preserved in exquisite detail in places like the Prione Valley, suggest a lifestyle of quick, darting flights. Much like modern bats, chasing moths under moonlight, these early forms laid the foundation for the explosion of diversity that would follow. By the Jurassic, pterosaurs had begun to diversify dramatically. The rhamphorhynchoids, a group characterized by long tails and toothy beaks, thrived in this period. Rhamphorhynchus itself, with a wingspan of about 1.8 meters, was a coastal hunter, its needle-like teeth perfect for gripping slippery fish. Fossils from Germany's Solnhofen limestone reveal tails tipped with diamond-shaped veins, likely used for steering during flight. In contrast, Dimorphodon, with its robust skull and two types of teeth, hence its name, meaning two-form tooth, was a more terrestrial predator, possibly chasing small vertebrates or insects in forested regions. Its puffin-like appearance, with a large head and short wings, hints at a life of short, powerful flights through cluttered environments. The Cretaceous brought the rise of the pterodactyloids, a group that pushed pterosaur diversity to new heights. These species, with shorter tails and often toothless beaks, included some of the most iconic and bizarre forms. Pteranodon, a Cretaceous giant with a wingspan up to 7 meters, was a master of the open seas. Its long, pointed beak and massive crest, possibly used for display or as a rudder, made it a striking figure as it soared over the western interior seaway of North America. Fossils from Kansas show Pteranodon skeletons in vast numbers, suggesting they lived in flocks, their wings glinting like sails as they rode the ocean winds. Even more astonishing were the Azhdarchids, the giants of the pterosaur world. Quetzalcoatlus, named after the Aztec feathered serpent god, stood as tall as a giraffe when on the ground, with a wingspan reaching 10 to 11 meters. Found in Texas, this behemoth likely foraged on land, using its long neck and beak to probe for small animals or carrion. Much like a modern stork, its cousin, Hatzegopteryx from Romania, was equally massive, with a skull nearly 3 meters long, suggesting it could swallow small dinosaurs whole. These giants were not just flyers but terrestrial stalkers, their size and strength allowing them to dominate both sky and land. Smaller pterosaurs, however, were no less remarkable. The anurognathids, like Jahalopterus from China, were tiny, with wingspans as small as 30 centimeters. Their large eyes and broad mouths suggest they were nocturnal insectivores, flitting through the dusk like living kites. Fossils from Liaoning, China, reveal pycnofibers hair-like structures covering their bodies, hinting at warm-blooded metabolisms and vibrant colors. These pint-sized flyers filled the niche of modern swifts, their agility unmatched in the crowded skies of the Mesozoic. Crests and ornamentation added another layer of diversity. Nyctosaurus, a Cretaceous species, sported a bizarre antler-like crest that stretched up to twice the length of its skull. This structure, likely to delicate for combat, may have served as a dazzling display for mates, glowing with color under the Cretaceous sun. Other species, like Tapeyara from Brazil, had crests shaped like sails or half-moons, possibly used for signaling or species recognition in crowded colonies. These adornments, preserved in fossils from the Santana Formation, suggest pterosaurs were not just functional but flamboyant. Their sky is a gallery of living art. The diversity of pterosaur diets mirrored their physical variety. Some, like Pterodostro, had hundreds of bristle-like teeth, forming a comb-like structure, perfect for filter feeding on tiny crustaceans in ancient lakes, much like modern flamingos. Others, like Dizengaripterus, had robust curved beaks for cracking open shellfish or digging for prey. This dietary flexibility allowed pterosaurs to exploit a range of environments, from coastal lagoons to inland deserts, each species carving out a unique role in the ecosystem. The fossil record, from the Solnhofen limestone to the Yixian Formation, reveals the sheer scope of pterosaur diversity. Over 160 million years, they evolved to fill every aerial niche, from tiny insect hunters to colossal scavengers. Their wings, crests, and behaviors were as varied as the landscapes they inhabited, a testament to their adaptability in a world of giants. Yet, this diversity came to an abrupt end 66 million years ago. when a catastrophic asteroid strike wiped them from the skies. Today, their fossils speak of a lineage that turned the heavens into a stage, each species a performer in the grand drama of in the primal skies of the Mesozoic, where storms churned over ancient seas and thermals rose from sun-scorched plains, the pterosaurs danced with the wind. These remarkable reptiles, the first vertebrates to master flight, transformed the heavens into their playground, soaring, gliding, and swooping with a grace that belied their reptilian origins. Their flight capabilities were a triumph of evolutionary engineering, blending lightweight anatomy, powerful muscles, and aerodynamic finesse. From the darting flits of tiny insect hunters to the majestic glides of giants with wings wider than a modern hang glider, pterosaurs redefined what it meant to rule the air, their wings cutting through the skies like living kites over a world ruled by giants. Picture a Jurassic dawn, the air heavy with mist, as a pterodactylus launches from a cliff's edge. Its wings, stretched taut across elongated fingerbones, catch the first gusts of morning wind, lifting its delicate frame skyward. Unlike the flapping frenzy of modern birds or the frenetic beats of bats, pterosaur flight was a blend of gliding elegance and bursts of powered flight. Their wings, formed by a thin membrane called the patagium, were marvels of flexibility, capable of stretching to catch rising thermals or folding neatly when landing. Fossils from Germany's Solnhofen limestone show these membranes in exquisite detail, revealing a structure reinforced with collagen fibers, strong yet elastic, allowing pterosaurs to twist and turn with the precision of a modern falcon. The mechanics of pterosaur flight began with their lightweight skeletons. Their hollow, pneumatic bones, similar to those of birds, reduced weight without sacrificing strength, enabling even the largest species, like Quetzalcoatlus, with its 10-meter wingspan, to take to the air. The chest housed powerful pectoral muscles anchored to a keeled sternum, providing the force needed for wing beats. Unlike birds, which rely on a rigid wing structure, pterosaurs had a dynamic wing system. The patagium was supported by a single, elongated fourth finger, acting as a spar, while smaller membranes connected the wings to the body and legs, creating a complex aerodynamic surface. This allowed them to adjust their wing shape mid-flight, much like a sailboat trimming its sails to catch the wind. Pterosaurs were not just gliders, they were capable of powered flight, a feat that set them apart from earlier gliding reptiles. Studies of their shoulder joints and wing musculature suggest they could flap their wings, generating thrust for takeoffs or short bursts of speed. Imagine a pteranodon soaring over the Cretaceous seas, its long, toothless beak slicing the air as it flaps to gain altitude, then locks its wings to glide effortlessly for miles. Computer models estimate that some species could reach speeds of up to 120 kilometers per hour in a dive, their streamlined bodies cutting through the air like arrows. This combination of flapping and gliding allowed pterosaurs to cover vast distances, possibly migrating across continents or following seasonal food sources. Takeoff was a critical moment, requiring both strength and skill. Fossils and biomechanical studies suggest pterosaurs used a quadrupedal launch, pushing off with their strong hindlimbs and forelimbs simultaneously. Picture a dimorphodon crouched on a rocky outcrop, its claws gripping the stone. With a sudden, explosive leap, it vaults into the air, its wings unfurling like a parachute to catch the updraft. This technique, similar to that of modern bats, allowed even the largest pterosaurs to launch from the ground, a feat that seems almost miraculous given their size. Trackways from France and Spain show footprints and claw marks, hinting at these dynamic takeoffs, with some species possibly using cliffs or trees as launch pads to gain initial height. Maneuverability was another hallmark of pterosaur flight. The eupagium, a membrane stretching between the legs, acted as a rudder, while early species like Ramphorhynchus had long tails with diamond-shaped veins for added stability. Later pterosaurs, like Pteranodon, evolved shorter tails, relying on wing adjustments for control. Their large brains and keen eyesight, revealed by fossilized skulls, suggest they could process complex aerial information, dodging obstacles or chasing prey with precision. Imagine a flock of Anuognathus, tiny pterosaurs with wingspans of just 30 centimeters, weaving through a Jurassic forest, their wings buzzing as they pursue insects in a twilight chase, their movements as agile as modern dragonflies. Pterosaurs also mastered soaring, using thermal columns of warm air rising from the earth to stay aloft with minimal effort. Species like asdarchids, with their massive wings, could ride these thermals for hours, covering hundreds of kilometers in search of food. Their efficient respiratory system, likely featuring air sacs like those of birds, provided the oxygen needed for sustained flight. Fossils from Brazil's Santana Formation show evidence of these air sacs extending into the bones, creating a lightweight yet robust system that fueled their aerial endurance. This allowed giants like Hatzogopteryx to soar over Cretaceous plains, their shadows sweeping across herds of dinosaurs below. Environmental factors shaped their flight strategies. Coastal pterosaurs, like Pteranodon, likely used sea breezes and coastal thermals to glide over vast oceans, their long beaks dipping to snatch fish. Inland species, such as Topiara, navigated forested regions, their shorter wings and elaborate crests suggesting a life of agile short-range flights. Fossils from China's Yixian Formation reveal Johalopterus, a tiny pterosaur with pycnofibers covering its body, hinting at nocturnal flights through dense forests, possibly using echolocational-like senses to hunt in low light. This adaptability allowed pterosaurs to exploit every aerial niche, from open skies to cluttered woodlands. The limits of their flight are still a subject of fascination. Could the largest pterosaurs, like Quetzalcoatlus, sustain long-distance flights, or were they primarily gliders? Biomechanical studies suggest they could take off from flat ground, using their powerful limbs to vault into the air, but their massive size likely favored soaring over flapping. Smaller species, like Anurognathus, were likely more agile, capable of rapid maneuvers to evade predators or chase prey. The diversity of their flight styles, gliding, flapping, soaring, made them versatile flyers, each species tailored to its environment and lifestyle. The flight capabilities of pterosaurs were a marvel of evolution, a delicate balance of anatomy, physics, and instinct. Their wings, muscles, and senses worked in harmony to make the skies their domain. From the Triassic to the Cretaceous, fossils from the delicate bones of Pterodactylus to the massive remains of asdarchids tell a story of creatures that pushed the boundaries of what was possible. They were not just the first flyers, they were pioneers, their wings a canvas on which evolution painted a masterpiece of motion, forever etching their legacy into the skies of the In the wild, untamed expanses of the Mesozoic, where the air thrummed with the pulse of life, and the earth teemed with creatures great and small, pterosaurs ruled the skies as cunning hunters. These winged reptiles, the first vertebrates to take flight, were not merely lords of the air, but masterful predators. Their hunting habits as varied as the landscapes they soared over, from snatching fish from shimmering seas to chasing insects through fern-laden forests. Pterosaurs evolved a dazzling array of strategies to secure their meals. Their beaks, wings, and keen senses were honed by millions of years of evolution, transforming them into aerial assassins whose hunting prowess painted the prehistoric world with scenes of breathtaking drama. Imagine a Cretaceous coastline at dawn, where waves crash against rocky shores and the air is thick with a tank of salt. A pteranodon, with its 7-meter wingspan, glides low over the water, its long, toothless beak skimming the surface like a living spear. With a sudden dip, it plunges its head into the waves, emerging with a wriggling fish clamped in its jaws. This scene, preserved in fossils from North America's western interior seaway, reveals the precision of pterosaur hunting. Pteranodon's beak, sleek and pointed, was perfectly adapted for snatching fish, much like a modern pelican. Its large eyes, positioned for sharp binocular vision, allowed it to spot the glint of scales from high above, turning the ocean into its hunting ground. Not all pterosaurs were cheetahs. In the dense, fern-choked forests of the Jurassic, smaller species like Anurognathus thrived as insectivores, with wingspans as small as 30 centimeters. These tiny flyers darted through the twilight, their broad, frog-like mouths snapping up dragonflies and beetles. Fossils from China's Yixian Formation show Anurognathus with large, sensitive eyes, suggesting nocturnal or crepuscular hunting, much like modern bats. Their pycnofiber-covered bodies, possibly aiding in sensory perception, allowed them to navigate cluttered forests with acrobatic precision, weaving through branches to chase prey in mid-air. Picture a flock of these pint-sized predators, their wings buzzing like a swarm of living drones, turning the dusk into a frenzy of aerial ambushes. Other pterosaurs took to the land for their meals. The massive asdarchids like Quetzalcoatlus or Hatzogopteryx were terrestrial stalkers, their long necks and beaks adapted for foraging on the ground. With wingspans up to 10 meters, these giants likely roamed Cretaceous plains, probing the soil for small vertebrates, eggs, or even carrion. Their beaks, some nearly 3 meters long, could snatch up prey as large as a small dinosaur, swallowing it whole like a modern stork. Fossil trackways from South Korea and Spain show as-darched footprints, suggesting they walked with a confident stride, their heads lowered to scan for food. Imagine a Quetzalcoatlus towering over a herd of grazing dinosaurs, its shadow a harbinger of death as it snaps up an unwary juvenile. Some pterosaurs developed specialized tools for unique diets. Pterosaur, a Cretaceous species from Argentina, had a beak lined with hundreds of bristle-like teeth, forming a comb-like structure perfect for filter feeding. Wading in shallow lakes, it likely sifted through water to trap tiny crustaceans or algae, much like a flamingo. Fossils of Pterosaur show stomach contents with minute crustacean shells, confirming its role as its vibrant, possibly pinkish, hue suggested by pigmentation in related fossils would have made it a striking sight, its beak dipping rhythmically into the water as it fed in serene, shimmering lagoons. Disunaripterus, another Cretaceous pterosaur, took a different approach. Its robust, curved beak and blunt teeth were designed for cracking open hard-shelled prey, like mollusks or crustaceans, found in Mongolia's Gobi Desert. Its fossils suggest it foraged along riverbanks or coastal flats, using its beak like a crowbar to pry open shells. This adaptability allowed Disungaripterus to exploit food sources overlooked by other predators, carving out a niche in the competitive Mesozoic ecosystem. Picture it hopping along a muddy shore, its beak probing the sediment, cracking open clams with a satisfying crunch. The hunting habits of pterosaurs were shaped by their environments. Coastal species like Ramphahynchus, with its needle-like teeth and long tail, hunted over Jurassic seas, diving to snatch fish or squid. Its fossils, often found with fish remains in their stomachs, confirm its piscivorous diet. Inland species, like Dimorphodon, likely chased small vertebrates or insects in forested regions, their robust skulls and varied teeth suited for gripping struggling prey. The diversity of beak, shapes long and slender, short and stout, toothed or toothless reflects the range of prey they targeted, from soft-bodied squid to armored trilobites. Pterosaurs' flight capabilities enhanced their hunting prowess. Their ability to glide, flap, or soar allowed them to cover vast distances in search of food. Pteranodon could ride thermals for hours, scanning the ocean for schools of fish, while Anurognopiths used short, agile flights to pursue insects in dense forests. Larger species like Asdarchids may have combined flight with terrestrial foraging, soaring to locate food then landing to stalk their prey. Fossil evidence, such as bite marks on dinosaur bones attributed to Asdarchids, suggests they were opportunistic, possibly scavenging carcasses when live prey was scarce. Their senses were finely tuned for hunting. Large eyes provided acute vision, essential for spotting prey from great heights or in low light. Some species, like Jahalopterus, may have used sensory pycnofibers to detect air currents or prey movements, enhancing their ability to hunt in complex environments. Their brains, relatively large for reptiles, supported quick decision-making, allowing them to adjust their flight path mid-chase or dive with pinpoint accuracy. Imagine a Ramphahynchus skimming a Jurassic lagoon, its eyes locked on a fish, its wings adjusting in a split second to plunge and seize its prize. The hunting habits of pterosaurs were not without risks. Diving into water or chasing prey through forests required precision, and a miscalculation could lead to injury or death. Predators like early crocodilians or small theropod dinosaurs might have targeted grounded pterosaurs, especially juveniles. Yet, their aerial agility gave them an edge, allowing them to escape threats or outmaneuver rivals. Fossils showing healed injuries, like broken wing bones, suggest they were resilient, capable of surviving the perils of their high-stakes lifestyle. The hunting habits of pterosaurs were a symphony of adaptation, each species a unique note in the Mesozoic chorus. From the fish-snatching dives of Pteranodon to the insect-chasing flits of Anurognopiths, their strategies reflected the diversity of their world. Their fossils, scattered across continents from Brazil to Mongolia, tell tales of predators who turned the skies and earth into their hunting grounds. Until their extinction 66 million years ago, pterosaurs were the ultimate aerial hunters, their wings carrying them to prey no other creature could reach, etching their legacy into the annals of life's great adventure. Across the vast, primordial canvas of the Mesozoic, from the scorching deserts of the Triassic to the lush, vibrant ecosystems of the Cretaceous, pterosaurs soared through skies that stretched over a world in constant flux. These flying reptiles, the first vertebrates to claim the air, were not bound to a single habitat, but thrived in a dazzling array of environments. From shimmering coastal lagoons to dense fern forests and windswept inland plains, their global distribution, evidenced by fossils found on every continent, paints a picture of creatures perfectly attuned to their surroundings, their wings carrying them across landscapes as varied as the stars above. The environments of pterosaurs were not just backdrops but active forces that shaped their bodies, behaviors, and survival, forging a legacy of adaptability in a world of relentless change. Imagine a Triassic shoreline 230 million years ago, where the supercontinent Pangaea dominates the Earth. Its interior, a sun-baked wasteland of red sand and cracked earth. Along the coasts, shallow seas teem with fish and ammonites, while humid air carries the scent of salt and decay. Here, early pterosaurs like Priondactylus flitted among rocky cliffs, their small wings catching sea breezes as they hunted for insects or small fish. Fossils from Italy's Prione Valley, where Priondactylus was discovered, reveal a coastal environment of lagoons and tidal flats, where these pioneers darted through misty air, their long tails trailing like streamers. The humid, tropical climate of the late Triassic, punctuated by monsoon-like rains, provided abundant prey, from dragonflies the size of sparrows to early crustaceans, fueling the rise of these agile flyers. By the Jurassic, the world had transformed. Pangaea was splintering, creating new coastlines and inland seas. The Solnhofen limestone of Germany, a treasure trove of pterosaur fossils, captures a tropical archipelago environment 150 million years ago. Picture a turquoise lagoon fringed with cycads and ferns, where Rhamphorhynchus and Pterodactylus glided over calm waters, their reflections rippling below. The warm, shallow seas teemed with fish and squid, perfect for pterosaurs with needle-like teeth or scoop-shaped beaks. The air buzzed with insects, attracting smaller species like Anurognathes, which darted through the twilight, navigating by starlight in a world alive with the hum of life. These coastal havens, with their stable food sources and favorable winds, were ideal for pterosaurs, their wings slicing through the humid air as they hunted or scavenged. Inland, Jurassic forests offered a different stage. Dense woodlands of conifers, ginkgos, and towering ferns stretched across what is now Europe and Asia, their canopies alive with the chatter of early dinosaurs and the buzz of giant insects. Dimorphodon, with its robust skull and short wings, thrived here, likely weaving through branches to chase prey or perch on gnarled trunks. Fossils from England's Lyme Bay suggest a lush, temperate environment where rivers carved through forests, creating clearings where pterosaurs could launch into the air. The cluttered landscape demanded agility, and species like Dimorphodon evolved to maneuver through tight spaces, their wings folding neatly to avoid snags. These forests, with their rich ecosystems, were hunting grounds for pterosaurs that preferred terrestrial or arboreal prey, from small reptiles to beetles. The Cretaceous brought new environments as Pangaea continued to break apart, forming continents closer to those we know today. The Western Interior Seaway, a vast ocean splitting North America, was a hotspot for pterosaurs like Pteranodon. Fossils from Kansas's Niobrara Formation paint a picture of a marine world 85 million years ago, where chalky cliffs rose from turquoise waters and schools of fish shimmered beneath the surface. Pteranodon soared here, riding sea breezes and thermals, its 7-meter wings spread like sails as it scanned for prey. The open ocean, with its strong winds and abundant marine life, was a perfect arena for these long-distance flyers, their beaks dipping to snatch fish or scoop up squid. The seaway's dynamic environment, with storms and shifting currents, tested their flight skills, but also provided endless opportunities for feeding. Inland Cretaceous environments were equally diverse. The Santana Formation of Brazil, dating to 110 million years ago, reveals a tropical riverine landscape of lakes and floodplains. Here, Topiara and Pterodostro thrived, their crested heads and specialized beaks suited for unique diets. Pterodostro, with its comb-like teeth, waded in shallow lakes, filter feeding on tiny crustaceans, while Tapayara may have foraged for fruits or small animals along riverbanks. The warm, humid climate supported lush vegetation and abundant prey, creating a paradise for pterosaurs. Fossils from this region show preserving delicate wing membranes and stomach contents, suggest these pterosaurs lived in colonies, their vibrant crests flashing as they gathered near the water's edge. The asdarchids, like Quetzalcoatlus, roamed the arid plains of late Cretaceous North America and Europe, environments marked by vast deserts and scrublands. Fossils from Texas's Big Bend region and Romania's Hagig Basin depict a world of open landscapes, dotted with low shrubs and dinosaur herds. These giants, with wingspans up to 10 meters, likely stalked the ground for small vertebrates or carrion, their long necks probing the dusty earth. The dry, windy conditions of these regions favored soaring flight, allowing asdarchids to cover vast distances in search of food. Trackways from South Korea and Spain show their footprints, evidence of their terrestrial prowess in these open, rugged terrains. High-latitude environments, like those in Australia's Winton Formation, reveal pterosaurs in cooler, more temperate regions. Fossils of small, unnamed species suggest they inhabited coastal or inland areas with seasonal climates, possibly migrating to follow food sources. These environments, with their mix of forests and open plains, supported diverse prey, from fish to small dinosaurs, allowing pterosaurs to adapt their hunting strategies to seasonal shifts. The global distribution of pterosaur fossils from Antarctica to Greenland shows their ability to thrive in nearly every Mesozoic environment, from polar forests to equatorial deserts. The environments of pterosaurs were as critical to their success as their wings. Coastal regions provided fish and winds for gliding. Forests offered cover and insects, and plains supported the foraging giants. Each habitat shaped their anatomy-long beaks for fishing, short wings for forest flight, or massive sizes for open soaring. Until their extinction 66 million years ago, pterosaurs were the ultimate environmental opportunists, their wings carrying them across a world of endless possibility. Their fossils a map of the diverse landscapes they called home. In the vibrant, sun-drenched skies of the Mesozoic, where pterosaurs wheeled and soared above ancient seas and forests, their silhouettes were adorned with some of nature's most flamboyant creations, crests. These striking structures, rising from their heads like banners of bone and soft tissue, were far more than mere ornaments. They were the language of the skies, tools of communication that signaled dominance, attracted mates, and defined the social lives of these flying reptiles. From the subtle ridges of early species to the extravagant sails of later giants, pterosaur crests transformed the heavens into a gallery of living art, their vivid displays a testament to the complexity of their social world. In a landscape teeming with life, these crests and other signals were the keys to survival, connection, and legacy. Picture a Cretaceous lagoon, its waters glinting under a golden sun, where a flock of pteranodon gathers on a rocky shore. Their heads are crowned with long, backward curving crests, some stretching nearly a meter, glowing with hues that ripple in the light. These crests, preserved in fossils from North America's Niobrara Formation, were not just for show but a declaration of identity. Males likely sported larger, more vibrant crests, using them to assert dominance or woo mates, much like a peacock unfurls its tail. The scene is alive with motion. A male pteranodon tilts its head, its crest catching the breeze, signaling to rivals or females in a display as bold as any modern bird's courtship dance. This was a world where visual signals ruled, and pterosaurs were masters of the spectacle. Crests varied wildly across pterosaur species, reflecting their diverse lifestyles and social needs. Early pterosaurs like Ramphorhynchus from the Jurassic Solnhofen limestone had modest bony ridges or soft tissue crests, often small but functional. These structures, preserved as faint outlines in fossils, may have served as subtle signals in crowded coastal colonies, helping individuals recognize mates or kin. By the Cretaceous, crests grew more elaborate. Nyctosaurus, a marine flyer, sported a bizarre, antler-like crest that forked into two slender prongs, stretching twice the length of its skull. This delicate structure, found in Kansas fossils, was likely too fragile for combat, suggesting a role in display, perhaps shimmering with iridescent colors to dazzle potential mates under the Cretaceous sun. Tapayara from Brazil's Santana Formation took crests to new heights of extravagance. Its sail-like crest, a vibrant half-moon of bone and soft tissue, rose high above its head, possibly flushed with reds or yellows in life. Fossils show that these crests were richly vascularized, hinting at a role in thermoregulation as well as display. Imagine a topiara perched on a riverbank, its crest raised like a flag, catching the eyes of others in its colony. These crests may have signaled health, genetic fitness, or social status, much like antlers on a stag. In dense pterosaur gatherings, such displays would have been crucial for standing out, ensuring that the strongest or most vibrant individuals secured mates or territory. Beyond crests, pterosaurs used other features for social signaling. The wing membranes, or patagia, were not just for flight, but potential canvases for communication. Fossils from China's Yixian Formation, particularly of Jahalopteris, reveal wing membranes with traces of pigmentation, suggesting they could flash vibrant patterns during flight. Picture a flock of Anurognathes, their tiny wings glinting with iridescent hues as they dart through a Jurassic forest, signaling to each other in a dance of light and color. These membranes, flexible and reinforced with collagen fibers, could have been flared or angled to convey messages, much like a bird's wing flashes in modern displays. Pycnofibers, the hair-like structures covering some pterosaurs, added another layer to their social toolkit. Found in species like Sordis pilosus from Kazakhstan, these fuzzy coatings may have served sensory or display purposes. In life, pycnofibers could have been brightly colored or patterned, signaling maturity or readiness to mate. Their presence, preserved in exquisite detail in Liaoning fossils, suggests pterosaurs were warm-blooded, or at least capable of regulating body temperature, allowing them to thrive in varied climates and use their fuzzy coats as visual cues. Imagine a Sordis puffing up its pycnofibers in a courtship ritual, its body a shimmering mosaic under the Mesozoic moon. The social behaviors of pterosaurs likely extended beyond visual displays. Fossils of Pteranodon and Tapiara found in large groups suggest colonial living, similar to modern seabird colonies. These gatherings, on cliffs or riverbanks, would have been noisy, vibrant affairs, with crests bobbing and wings flashing as individuals competed for attention. Vocalizations, though not preserved, were likely part of their repertoire. Their large brains and complex skulls, revealed by CT scans, suggest they could produce calls or squawks, perhaps low rumbles or sharp cries, to reinforce visual signals. Picture a pteranodon colony, the air filled with honks and screeches as crested males vie for dominance. Their displays a symphony of sight and sound. Crests may have also played a role in species recognition. With over 150 pterosaur species coexisting, distinguishing kin from competitors was vital. The unique shapes and sizes of crests, forked or sail, likely served as identifiers, preventing interbreeding in crowded colonies. For example, Tupandactylus had a massive, rounded crest, distinct from the slender prongs of Nyctosaurus, ensuring each species could recognize its own. This specificity would have been critical in environments like the Santana Formation, where multiple pterosaur species shared the same rivers and lakes, their crests acting as badges of identity in a bustling prehistoric hub. Thermoregulation was another potential function of crests. The vascularized soft tissue in Topiara-S crest suggests it could flush with blood to release heat or conserve warmth, helping pterosaurs adapt to the variable climates of the Mesozoic. In hot, equatorial regions, a crest might cool the body by radiating heat. In cooler, high-latitude environments, it could minimize heat loss. This dual-role display and thermoregulation made crests versatile tools, enhancing survival in diverse habitats from coastal lagoons to inland plains. The social signals of pterosaurs were not without risks. Large crests, like those of Nyctosaurus, were fragile and could break in storms or fights, as evidenced by fossils with healed crest injuries. Bright displays might attract predators, such as theropod dinosaurs or rival pterosaurs, making showy individuals targets. Yet, the benefits securing mates, establishing dominance, or maintaining group cohesion outweighed the dangers, driving the evolution of ever more elaborate crests. These structures were a gamble, a bold statement of fitness in a world where standing out meant survival. The crests and social signals of pterosaurs were a vibrant chapter in their story, transforming the skies into a theater of communication. From the subtle ridges of Rhamphorhynchus to the extravagant sails of Topiara, these features spoke of a complex social world. one where visual flair and behavioral sophistication reigned. Their fossils, scattered from Brazil to Kansas, offer glimpses of creatures who used their bodies as canvases, painting the Mesozoic with signals of life, love, and rivalry, until their final flight, 66 million years ago. In the waning days of the Cretaceous, 66 million years ago, the skies of Earth were alive with the soaring silhouettes of pterosaurs, their wings casting fleeting shadows over a world teeming with life. From the tiny insect-chasing Aneurognathus to the colossal Quetzalcoatlus, these flying reptiles had ruled the air for over 160 million years, their diversity and adaptability unmatched. Yet, in a cosmic instant, their reign came to an abrupt and cataclysmic end. The extinction of pterosaurs, triggered by a devastating asteroid impact and its cascading consequences, was a tragedy that silenced the skies, erasing these masters of flight from the Earth. Their fall was not just the end of a lineage, but a pivotal moment in the history of life, a stark reminder of nature's fragility in the face of overwhelming forces. Picture a vibrant Cretaceous landscape, where lush forests of flowering plants stretch toward the horizon, and the western interior seaway glimmers under a golden sun. Pteranodon flocks glide over turquoise waves, their crests flashing as they dive for fish. Inland, Azdarchids stalk the plains, their massive beaks probing for small dinosaurs or carrion. The air hums with life. Dinosaurs roar, insects buzz, and pterosaurs call to one another in colonies that dot cliffs and riverbanks. This was a world in balance, its ecosystems finely tuned over millions of years. But beneath this thriving surface, the seeds of destruction were already sown, waiting for a spark to ignite a global catastrophe. The spark came in the form of a colossal asteroid, roughly 10 to 15 kilometers wide, hurtling through space at 20 kilometers per second. It struck the Earth near what is now Mexico, the Yucatan Peninsula, carving out the Chicxulub crater, a scar 150 kilometers wide. The impact was cataclysmic, releasing energy equivalent to billions of atomic bombs. The ground shook, tsunamis roared across oceans, and molten debris rained from the sky, igniting wildfires that swept through forests. Fossils from North America's Hell Creek Formation, rich with pterosaur remains, show layers of iridium, rare element from asteroids marking the exact moment of impact. This was the trigger that set off a chain reaction, plunging the world into chaos and sealing the fate of the pterosaurs. The immediate aftermath was apocalyptic. The impact threw vast clouds of dust and soot into the atmosphere, blocking sunlight and plunging the Earth into a nuclear winter. Temperatures plummeted, and photosynthesis ground to a halt, starving plants and collapsing food chains. For pterosaurs like Pteranodon, which relied on fish from coastal seas, the darkened skies disrupted marine ecosystems. Plankton, the foundation of the ocean food web, died off in droves, leaving fish populations to dwindle. Fossils from the Niobrara Formation show a sharp decline in marine species post-impact, suggesting that Pteranodon and other coastal flyers faced starvation as their prey vanished. Inland, the situation was no less dire. Azdarchids, which foraged for small vertebrates or carrion, found their food sources decimated as dinosaurs and other prey succumbed to famine. The loss of vegetation, critical for herbivorous dinosaurs, rippled up the food chain, leaving scavengers and predators like Quetzalcoatlus with little to sustain them. Trackways from Romania's Hagig Basin, once bustling with Hatzegopteryx footprints, fall silent in the fossil record after the impact, a testament to the rapid collapse of terrestrial ecosystems. The cold, dark conditions, lasting months or even years, were a death sentence for creatures adapted to warm, food-rich environments. Volcanic activity, already intense in regions like India's Deccan Traps, compounded the crisis. Massive eruptions, occurring around the same time as the impact, spewed toxic gases and ash, further poisoning the air and altering the climate. Sulfur aerosols from these eruptions caused acid rain, which leached into rivers and lakes, killing aquatic life and tainting water sources. For pterosaurs like Pterodostro, which filter-fed in freshwater lakes, this pollution was devastating. Fossils from Argentina's Lagarcito Formation showed Pterodostro colonies thriving before the impact, but none survived the boundary layer, their delicate ecosystems shattered by environmental upheaval. The physical demands of flight made pterosaurs particularly vulnerable. Their lightweight, hollow bones and high metabolisms, perfect for soaring over vast distances, required constant food intake. Unlike some small mammals or burrowing reptiles, which could hibernate or survive on scarce resources, pterosaurs had no such refuge. Their large size, especially in Asdarchids, demanded substantial energy, and the collapse of food chains left them with no means to sustain their aerial lifestyles. Smaller species, like Anurognathus, might have clung to life longer, scavenging insects in dwindling forests, but even they could not escape the relentless cascade of ecological collapse. Social behaviors, once a strength, became a liability. Pterosaurs like Topiara and Pteranodon lived in colonies, their crests and calls fostering group cohesion. But these gatherings, often near coasts or rivers, were vulnerable to tsunamis and wildfires sparked by the impact. Fossils from Brazil's Santana Formation show Topiara colonies preserved in fine detail, but none crossed the Cretaceous-Paleogene boundary, suggesting entire populations were wiped out in the initial devastation. The loss of these social structures, critical for mating and rearing young, ensured that even survivors struggled to repopulate. The extinction event was not instantaneous, but a prolonged nightmare. While the impact's immediate effects, shockwaves, fires, and tsunamis killed many, the lingering darkness and cold claimed the rest. Estimates suggest that 75% of Earth's species, including all non-avian dinosaurs and pterosaurs, vanished within a few years. The fossil record, from sites like New Jersey's Hornerstown Formation, shows a stark absence of pterosaur remains above the iridium layer, confirming their complete extinction. Unlike birds, which evolved from small, feathered dinosaurs and survived by exploiting new niches, pterosaurs had no descendants to carry their legacy forward. The fall of the pterosaurs was a cosmic tragedy, a moment when the skies lost their most spectacular inhabitants. Their extinction reshaped the world, clearing the way for birds and bats to claim the air in the Paleogene. Yet, their absence left a void, a silence where once the beat of wings and the flash of crests had filled the heavens. Fossils from across the globe, Kansas, Brazil, Homonia, bear witness to their final days. Their bones, a requiem for a lineage that soared for millions of years only to vanish in a heartbeat. The extinction of pterosaurs was not just the end of a species, but the closing of a chapter in Earth's story, a reminder that even the mightiest can fall when the stars align against them. In the silent depths of ancient rock, where time has woven a tapestry of Earth's forgotten epochs, the fossil legacy of pterosaurs endures as a window into a lost world. These flying reptiles, who soared above the Mesozoic for over 160 million years, left behind a treasure trove of remains that whisper tales of their lives, from their delicate wings to their flamboyant crests. Scattered across continents from the limestone lagoons of Germany to the desert sands of Brazil, their fossils are more than mere bones. They are snapshots of a vibrant era, capturing the grace, diversity, and resilience of creatures that conquered the skies. The fossil record of pterosaurs is a paleontological masterpiece, offering clues to their anatomy, behaviors, and environments, and igniting the imaginations of scientists and dreamers alike. Picture the Solnhofen limestone of Bavaria, 150 million years ago, a tropical lagoon where calm waters preserved the delicate remains of Pterodactylus and Ramphahinchus. These Jurassic deposits, formed from fine-grained mud, are among the world's most famous fossil sites. Capturing pterosaurs in exquisite detail, the skeleton of a Pterodactylus, its wings spread as if frozen mid-flight, reveals hollow bones so light they seem to defy gravity. The imprints of wing membranes, etched into the rock like ghostly shadows, show blood vessels and collagen fibers, hinting at wings that shimmered with color in life. These fossils, first discovered in the 18th century, stunned early scientists, who mistook them for mythical creatures. Their elongated fingers and toothy beaks unlike anything known. Across the Atlantic, Brazil's Santana Formation, dating to the early Cretaceous, offers another chapter in the Pterosaur saga. Here, in a tropical riverine landscape 110 million years ago, Topiara and Pterodostra were buried in fine sediments, preserving not just bones but soft tissues. The vibrant crests of Topiara, with their sail-like shapes, are fossilized in 3 dimensions. Their surfaces textured with traces of blood vessels, suggesting they flushed with color for display or thermoregulation. Pterodostral fossils reveal hundreds of bristle-like teeth, some with crustacean remains in their stomachs, confirming their filter-feeding habits. These exceptional fossils, found in nodules that split to reveal near-perfect skeletons, offer a rare glimpse into the soft anatomy of pterosaurs, from their fuzzy pycnofibers to their elastic wing membranes. In North America, the Niobrara Formation of Kansas, formed in the late Cretaceous, paints a marine portrait of Pteranodon. These chalky deposits, once the bed of the western interior seaway, hold thousands of Pteranodon fossils, their long toothless beaks and massive crests preserved in stunning clarity. Some specimens show fish bones in their stomachs, evidence of their piscivorous diet, while others bear healed injuries, suggesting they survived the perils of flight or predation. The sheer number of fossils and entire colonies preserved in layers of chalk hints at social behaviors, with Pteranodon gathering like modern seabirds on cliffs or islands. These remains, excavated since the 19th century, have made Pteranodon one of the most iconic pterosaurs. Its crest, a symbol of Mesozoic majesty. The fossil record extends to unexpected places. In China's Yixian Formation, part of the Jeholbiota Jeholopteris and Sordis Pileaces reveal a world of forested lakes 125 million years ago. These fossils, preserved in volcanic ash and lake sediments, are remarkable for their pycnofibers, hair-like structures covering the body. Sordis, meaning hairy devil, shows these fibers in fine detail, suggesting pterosaurs were warm-blooded or insulated for cooler climates. Jeholopteris fossils, with their large eyes and broad mouths, indicate nocturnal hunting, their wings adorned with pigmented patterns that may have flashed during courtship. These discoveries, made in the late 20th century, revolutionized our understanding of pterosaur physiology, proving they were far more than cold-blooded reptiles. Trackways, though rarer, add another dimension to the fossil legacy. In South Korea and Spain, Cretaceous footprints and claw marks reveal how Uzdarchids like Quetzalcoatlus moved on land. These massive pterosaurs with wingspans up to 10 meters left imprints showing a quadrupedal gait, their clawed feet and hands pressing into muddy shores. These tracks, found in riverbeds and coastal flats, suggest they stalked prey or scavenged, their long necks lowered to probe the ground. Such trace fossils, preserved alongside dinosaur footprints, offer a dynamic glimpse of pterosaurs interacting with their environments. Their steps a frozen echo of their terrestrial lives. The rarity of soft tissue fossils makes them especially precious. In Germany's Holzminden shale, Ramphahingis fossils preserve wing membranes with such clarity that scientists can study their microstructure, revealing layers of muscle and collagen that made flight possible. Some specimens even show stomach contents, fish scales or squid beaks, offering direct evidence of diet. In Morocco's Kemkem beds, Uzdarchid fossils include fragments of neck vertebrae. So long they suggest these giants could reach down to snatch prey without landing. These finds, though fragmented, are like pieces of a puzzle, each adding to our understanding of pterosaur diversity and behavior. The fossil record also tells a story of discovery. When Pterodactylus was first described in 1784 by Cosimo Alessandro Collini, it was thought to be a marine creature, its wings mistaken for flippers. It wasn't until the 19th century that scientists recognized pterosaurs as flyers, sparking debates about their place in the tree of life. Fossils like Quetzalcoatlus, discovered in Texas in the 1970s, stunned researchers with their size, proving pterosaurs could rival small aircraft. Each find, from the delicate Anurognathes to the massive Hatzegopteryx, has reshaped our view, showing a lineage of incredible adaptability. Yet, the fossil legacy is incomplete. The delicate nature of pterosaur bones, often hollow and fragile, means many remains were lost to time. The absence of fossils beyond the Cretaceous-Paleogene boundary confirms their extinction 66 million years ago. Alongside non-avian dinosaurs, this gap in the record is a poignant reminder of their loss, but the fossils we have from Solnhofen to Santana offer a vivid portrait of their world. They reveal colonies, diets, injuries, and even colors, bringing pterosaurs to life in museums and imaginations. The fossil legacy of pterosaurs is a bridge to the Mesozoic, a collection of bones and imprints that tell of creatures who defied gravity. From the fine-grained limestones of Germany to the ash beds of China, these remains are a testament to their resilience and diversity. They inspire awe, fueling science and art, from museum displays to films like Jurassic Park. As paleontologists unearth new fossils, each discovery adds a brushstroke to the portrait of pterosaurs, ensuring their wings continue to soar in our understanding of Earth's ancient past. In the modern world, where skyscrapers pierce the clouds and jets streak across the sky, the legacy of pterosaurs endures, their ancient wings casting long shadows over science and culture. These flying reptiles, the first vertebrates to conquer the air, vanished 66 million years ago, yet their fossils have sparked a fascination that bridges the Mesozoic to the present. From the hallowed halls of museums to the flickering screens of cinemas, pterosaurs have become icons of a lost world, inspiring awe, debate, and creativity. Their scientific study has reshaped our understanding of flight and evolution, while their mythical allure has woven them into the fabric of human storytelling, transforming these creatures of bone and stone into symbols of nature's boundless ingenuity. Imagine standing in a museum, gazing at the delicate skeleton of a pterodactylus, its wings spread as if ready to launch into a Jurassic sky. Discovered in 1784 in Germany's Solnhofen limestone, this fossil was among the first to reveal pterosaurs to the world. Its strange form baffling early scientists. Initially mistaken for a marine creature or a bat-like oddity, it sparked debates that laid the groundwork for paleontology. By the 19th century, as more fossils emerged, pterosaurs became central to discussions about evolution and the origins of flight. Their hollow bones and wing membranes, preserved in exquisite detail, offered clues to how vertebrates first took to the air, challenging notions that only birds could fly. Today, institutions like the American Museum of Natural History display pteranodon and Quetzalcoatlus skeletons, their towering forms drawing gasps from visitors, young and old, who marvel at creatures that seem to defy reality. The scientific impact of pterosaurs is profound. Their fossils, from Brazil's Santana Formation to China's Yixian biota, have provided a treasure trove of data. The discovery of pycnofibers on Sordis pileus in the 1970s revolutionized our view, suggesting pterosaurs were warm-blooded or insulated, akin to early birds. CT scans of pteranodon skulls reveal large brains, hinting at complex behaviors like flocking or precise navigation. The massive Quetzalcoatlus, unearthed in Texas in 1971, stunned researchers with its 10-meter wingspan, prompting studies on how such giants could fly. Biomechanical models, built from fossils like those of asdarchids, show they used quadrupedal launchers, their strong limbs vaulting them into the air. These findings have not only illuminated pterosaur biology, but also informed our understanding of avian evolution, bridging the gap between reptiles and modern birds. Pterosaur research has also sparked debates about flight itself. Were they primarily gliders, soaring on thermals like vultures, or capable of powered flight, flapping like eagles? Fossils from Morocco-esque chembeds showing robust wing bones support the idea of active flight, while trackways from Spain suggest terrestrial foraging, revealing a versatility that challenges early assumptions. These discoveries, amplified by technologies like 3D modeling and isotopic analysis, have made pterosaurs a cornerstone of paleontology. Their fossils a lens through which we view the mechanics of flight and the ecosystems of the Mesozoic. Each new find, from the tiny Anurognathus to the sail-crested Topeara, adds a chapter to the story of life's conquest of the air. In popular culture, pterosaurs have soared beyond the lab into the realm of imagination. Their dragon-like forms, with toothy beaks and leathery wings, evoke mythical creatures, making them stars of films, books, and art. The Jurassic Park franchise, starting in 1993, brought Pteranodon to life, its screeching dives thrilling audiences, though inaccurately showing teeth and exaggerated aggression. These cinematic portrayals, while not always precise, have cemented pterosaurs as symbols of a wild, untamed past. In literature, from Arthur Conan Doyle's The Lost World to modern fantasy novels, pterosaurs inspire visions of prehistoric skies, their crests and wings fueling tales of adventure. Video games like Ark: Survival Evolved feature Quetzalcoatlus as majestic mounts, blending science with fantasy to captivate players. Children, in particular, are drawn to pterosaurs, their bizarre forms sparking curiosity. Dinosaur toys and books often include Pteranodon or Pterodactylus, their names simplified to pterodactyl in playground lore. Museums capitalize on this, with interactive exhibits where visitors can fly like a pterosaur using virtual reality, bringing their aerial world to life. Art inspired by pterosaurs, from John Conway's vibrant reconstructions to Palort in National Geographic, captures their elegance. with wings painted in hypothesized hues of red, blue, or iridescent green. These depictions, grounded in fossil evidence, bridge science and creativity, making pterosaurs accessible to all. The cultural impact extends to their symbolic power. Pterosaurs represent the audacity of evolution, creatures that dared to fly when the world was ruled by giants. They appear in logos, from scientific societies to adventure brands, their wings, a shorthand for freedom and exploration. In education, they spark discussions about extinction and resilience. Their disappearance 66 million years ago, a cautionary tale about environmental change. The Chicxulub impact, which ended their reign, is a reminder of Earth's fragility, resonating in a world facing climate challenges. Pterosaurs, though extinct, inspire calls to protect today's biodiversity. Their fossils are linked to a planet we must preserve. The interplay of science and culture is evident in ongoing discoveries. In 2025, new fossils from Mongolia's Gobi Desert are shedding light on pterosaur diets, with Disungaripterus remains showing shellfish fragments. These finds, reported in scientific journals, quickly reach the public through social media and documentaries, keeping pterosaurs in the spotlight. Citizen science projects, where enthusiasts analyze fossil images online, have democratized their study, while paleontologists collaborate with researchers to visualize their world. This synergy ensures pterosaurs remain a vibrant part of our cultural and scientific landscape, their legacy growing with each unearthed bone. The cultural and scientific impact of pterosaurs is a testament to their enduring allure. They are not just relics of a bygone era, but catalysts for discovery and imagination. In labs, their fossils unlock the secrets of flight and evolution. In stories, they soar as dragons of a real past. From the Solnhofen quarries to Hollywood screens, pterosaurs remind us of life's capacity to innovate and inspire. Their wings a timeless symbol of a world where the impossible took flight.